explain Alexandra just a little. One of the things I found is he says that we are kind of held in a routine. And if you never get where you're pushed or step out of that routine or challenged, you will feel comfortable in that. He says it's like if you have a vanilla ice cream cone every day and you think that's good and that what else do you need? But he says, let me put a cherry on it one day and then see how your ideas change. So what he likes to do is kind of push you just a little beyond what you accept as your reality and then kind of bring you back and say, you didn't notice this before, but maybe now there's something here for you. So with that, let me bring Alexander in, and I think he's going to talk about the future, certain things that are possibly going to happen, and how you manifest the future. So today's Charger football game, so there's probably a lot of prayers going out about footballs. Recognize that that's legitimate. It's when you put your effort into a thought or an idea, those energies go out. Now, whether or not it will influence the game to that extent, I don't know. Alexander says when you put a prayer out or you put a thought out, what manifests is the ones with the most energy. So it depends on how much the other side is putting out as far as this ball game goes. So we'll see later today, I guess, of how that works out. So with that, let me bring Alexander in. Greetings. We are Alexander. So we honor you for being here and thank you for the opportunity to join in your energies and suggest that there's more to you than sits in this room. You are multidimensional beings. You are influencing on a lot of different levels. Even today is the things you think, your realities, and the things that are manifesting about you. Now, one of the things we really wish to impress upon you is how powerful you are when you manifest the things that you want in your life. One of the things that we have found most interesting is when we tell you that you manifest everything that happens, you think, well, this is what I had in mind, so there's no big deal. I was going to do this anyway. But the thought is a creative element. And if you're into spirituality, there's a tendency to separate your routine or your everyday creations from the things that you're hoping to have happen. So the ones that you think, well, I was going to do this anyway, those are the easy ones because you have already accepted those. You have already laid out plans of how you're going to accomplish that. But the things that you are trying to accomplish, the things that feel a little more difficult, are difficult simply because you've already decided, well, I'm not sure exactly how to accomplish that. The way to accomplish the things that you want in your life is simply to imagine them, meditate, outpicture those, think of how you're going to reach your goal, rather than saying, I'd like to have $1 million or whatever else, or big house or relationship. Imagine step by step in your meditations and outpicture that, and you'll find that works great. That gives you a reinforcement about how you're going to accomplish it. If it's just a pie-in-the-sky dream, it most likely is not going to happen, simply because you have this final vision of what you want doesn't mean it's going to happen. You have to have some sense of how you're going to get there. After all, you're the creator. There's nobody here that's saying you can or cannot do it. This is up to you. That's how you manifest day to day. So the difficult things you want to do, if you don't meditate or you don't have some sense of awareness, you're going to have a little bit more difficulty accomplishing those things. But set those in your meditation and think on them, and you'll find that they will manifest without you spending all the time and effort trying to figure out how you're going to do that. They simply will show up. And the more that you can turn those loose, you're going to find the better they're going to work. Now, you're here because perhaps you wish to know what's going to happen in 2014. We have suggested before that certain things are designed to happen. Timetables are very difficult simply because it is not about time or your minutes ticking off. It is about events happening. So when we tell you this may happen next week, it can happen 2-3 years from now. If things don't happen, there's a progression of things. One builds upon the other. So this is what we're speaking of. Now, when we look into the future, we have to tell you one of the things we see is there's a lot of house fires, let me get it right, happening, more so than usual. Now, the first question you will think, well, why would you have that? But it is a time of burning away old ideals, old concepts. So expect that to be part of the creations that's going to happen. Another thing you do not wish to hear, we're almost certain, is we also see the possibility, the potential of an earthquake or two in this that you call your California, between northern and southern California. Different ideals clash, cause those things. And indeed, you may even see the big one that you speak of. So that is not to put you into a fear base, but to recognize how your energies create. Everything has a cause. The earth, Mother Earth, is simply the recipient of those, and she agrees. The one that puts the most energy out, the most conflict, is displayed. Now, the first thing you say, well, I'm not so sure about that. This is a cherry on top of the ice cream cone. You have noticed your medias, have you not? Your TVs and everything. If you think that is not a strong influence, then think again. This is where most of your realities come from. This is how you create into the future. They will say something on TV, for instance, global warming and the consequences. More storms, more severe storms. Those are media-driven creations, simply because you're thinking, well, if that's what they say, it must be true. But it is only true because it's what you believe. Now, if you are caught up in the fear base on that, you may find yourself caught up in those creations. But if you simply say, okay, that's perhaps what's happening, and don't buy into the fear base, then you most likely will have nothing to do with it. It will show up on your media and you say, well, this is what's happened. If you buy into the media or the things that we predict for the future about house fires and stuff, then indeed you may have your house on fire. That is not what we wish for you, but we wish you to be aware that your thoughts, whether they're positive or negative, whether you're in fear base or a positive outlook on life, have an effect. Just like your media has an effect. And most people in spirituality, we believe, have a tendency to try to separate those things. They think, well, this is my routine, this is what I do every day, so this is not creation. This is what I was going to do. And everything beyond that, the things that are difficult to accomplish or the things you wish to accomplish, get to be, in belief, difficulty, and you create those simply because you have accepted that idea. And the only difficult part of that thing is simply the mind saying, this has got to be difficult because I do not see the steps to get there. So that is what we're wishing to show you or to suggest to you. So recognize that you have the power to do and create whatever you wish. But it is a step-by-step process for most. If you have not done it before, and this is brand new to you, creating what you wish, then you're going to find you're going to have to figure out how you're going to get from A to B to C to D. It is a step-by-step process. You start off with creating something that you wish. You step into that energy and say, well, what's the first thing I have to do? That is personal creation. That is where your power is. Now, you also are linked into this, what we call mass consciousness. But then it gets to be a battle of whose energy is the most, whether it is the ones opposed to you or whether or not the ones that are not opposed to you. So you have choices. Now, you think, well, if I'm only one person and there's millions of people, what chance do I have to influence that? But if you will notice, most people watch your media news and they say, okay, this is what it is. So they do not make a choice. They simply say, well, we'll go along with whatever is happening. But you have the ability to change that whole concept, the things that are happening around your world. You have the ability to create differently, simply because you choose. The ones that choose are the ones that create a new world, create a new reality. And those that never choose are kind of swept along. It's like a ship without a rudder. We're not saying that's bad, but recognize that you have the ability to make things differently. Now, another thing we wish to predict, and this has to do with your wars and battles and the things that are going in Afghanistan. Expect the U.S. military to be asked to leave that part of the world. There's something about what they're referring to as cowboy politics. So if you have not heard that before, expect that to be perhaps a new word. And what they're saying to you is shoot and ask later. They do not feel that they are being respected and you are in effect destroying their country. Now that's not to say that is bad about your military, but it is the leadership that's involved with that that's saying this is okay to do this. This is part of the growth and evolving of the United States, but it is also some very old energy that is being created. This is from Roman times. If you are a part of the United States, then you most likely have been incarnated in Rome times. So it is very much like a police state. And while you speak of the United States being very peaceful and I want to say caring, that old energy is still there about this is the way things have to be done, and if you do not do it this way, then you are opposed. So those are the things to look for in the future. At some point, your United States military and politics are going to have to back off and honor other, we would say, beliefs. And when you do that, you're going to find things are going to change. But right now you have a lot of old karmic energy of things that have been done in the past to try to create the world that your leaders would wish to project. And we're not saying they are wrong, we're simply saying that they are perhaps not correct in the way they're trying to accomplish that by being, I want to say, we'll call it sneaky behind the scenes creations. So recognize this is all creation. This is all about your thoughts. It's all about how you perceive the media and what's going to happen. So 2014 is really the changing point. We talked about 2012 being a time of change. So some of you have gone through that and you think, well, nothing has happened. 2014 is a manifestation beginning of the things that were designed in 2012. Everything prior to that point, or this point we should say to you, has been thought. It has been creation. It is things you've taken inside and decided what to do. And there now is so much energy involved with that you have decided to say, this is reality. This is what I wish. So things are happening. So expect, again, your military to be asked to leave Afghanistan, to leave things along in that part of the world. They are not attacking you. And the idea of being, we would say, pro-offensive is hardly a legitimate idea. If they are attacking you on your shores, then perhaps you have a reason to be more involved. But they are simply trying to survive what you are allowing to happen there. So you have the ability to change the whole world simply by going along with the idea of bringing your troops home, sending peace and calmness to the whole of the world. Again, 100 people makes a world of difference. So even with you and your ideals, if you send peace and love to that part of the world, to your military, you'll find that it begins to become more peaceful. There's nothing says that it has to have wars and battles. That is simply a control issue that your country prefers to follow. Now, it sounds like we are bad-mouthing your U.S. and perhaps we are. But what we're trying to do is to say, hey, you have been incarnated. Society is incarnate. You have been in this that has been Egypt. You have been in Rome. You have been in Greece. You have been in Great Britain when they tried to rule the world. So all those energies are still being manifested. Now, we're not saying you in particular are responsible for that, but you are part of that energy. And you have the ability. The reason for being here is to change that to becoming a more loving, peaceful world. And you have that ability. And they are the ones that do not decide. The more you decide this is what you'd like to see, the more you persuade them. So it doesn't mean that you have to go out on the street corner and say, hey, or hold a sign, the end of the world is near, or change your ways, or go wherever. It is a different time. So, now, one of the things we'd like to do with your permission is to take you through just a little meditation so that you can see that you can change your world. That is your most powerful creative ability, is to project into the future what you would like to have happen. And it happens on a personal level. And it has a direct effect from the moment you start. It may not change the whole of the world, but it changes your world. It changes what you can expect in the future. It changes your creations. What would you like to have happen? Or have you not decided? You see, if you do not decide, this is what I wish to have in the future, then you will keep what you are doing now. You will still be the same. Nothing will change. It's only when you decide, this is what I want to have happen. So, with your permission, if you will simply relax, take a deep breath, allow yourself to rid yourself of all the energies of the day and all the tensions. Know that the things that are happening have nothing to do with you. This is your creation. This is your world, your ability to do this. So close your eyes. Breathe in. And as you breathe out, relax, becoming very gentle with your body. Breathe in again. And notice that you're losing awareness of the body. Everything is mind. Everything that you think. See yourself in a very meditative place. Now before you bring up a color, let that color represent whatever you wish it to be. If it's red, then it's possibly creative. If it's pink, perhaps love. But see it as a screen in front of you. Almost like a movie theater. Now what would you like to have happen? What difficult thing do you see in your future? How can you make your future more delightful? What would it take to become and have the experience that you wish? If you wish to have abundance, then how do you start? This is the first page, the first step. What does it require of you? And let that picture come up and let yourself answer what you'd like to have created. New relationship, a better relationship, better job, better outlook, more love, more kindness, more compassion for the world around you, for the people around you. What would it take to make your world a happier place, a better place for you, for the world around you? And see yourself being that. If you're wishing to create happiness, then be happy. The people that you meet, the people that you greet, be genuine. Know that you're accepted. Do not hesitate simply because you think they will not agree with what you are thinking, what you are putting forth. Smile and allow it to happen for you. What would you like to have happen? Then see that beginning to progress. See yourself interacting with those around you, and notice that it's not about what they perceive as happening, but rather how you perceive yourself as happening, what you are being. See yourself changing, becoming more loving, more kind, more gentle. See yourself accomplishing the things you wish to accomplish. Better relationships, better job, better outlook. What do you wish? Perhaps you have other ideals and dreams. What is some of the ideals you had when you were young, when you were a child, when you were 13 or 14 or 15? What were the dreams that you did not accomplish, that you thought, boy, if I could do this, I would accomplish and be the happiest person in the world? And then somewhere along the way, you got so tied up perhaps in the routine of daily living that you have forgotten about those dreams. So let those come back up. What would you wish to be? Notice the color that is there. Do not allow the word impossible or too late or too long or too difficult to enter your mind. Simply say, this is the things that I dreamed my life would be like. See that happening. See yourself accomplishing, being and doing those childhood dreams. Now bring yourself forward in time. You're 21, 22, 23, 24 perhaps, in that area. Notice dreams change. Things change. Perhaps you have a family. Perhaps relationships. Make it perfect. It's all about you. It's not about anyone else. It's not about your partner. It's all about how you perceive life. You can make it happy or sad. You can make it delightful or hellish. But it's all up to you, no one else. It is a choice that you make. Now see it happening. See that things begin to progress, little at a time. Now, bring yourself to a current age. All the things that you have left behind, all the things that you would have done, could have done, should have done, or not, bring them up and recognize it's just a thought away. You can be whatever you wish. You can accomplish whatever you wish, but it has to start with thoughts. You have to have some idea of how you go from step 1 to step 2 to being where you're at now. Unless you just simply decide to be that. Everything is created from thought. If you never thought what you would like to have, then nothing would ever happen. You would be just like the animal kingdom. They simply live life day to day, accept what's happening, but you're different. You have this ability to reason, to wonder, to create. You are gods of this universe. So create what you would like. Now you have been perhaps slaves and warriors in past lives, and those energies are still around you. This is a time to release those and allow you to accomplish the things you'd wish to accomplish. What do you wish to be? And it will happen almost like magic. The things will begin to occur in your life simply because this is how you are feeling. This is what you have asked the universe for, and the universe always agrees with the things that you think and the things that you would like to do. You are the one that is the decider. You get to paint the picture. You get to create, especially on a personal level, things like you never imagined before, simply because you thought, well, it's too late, or I'm too old, or I'm not smart enough. But you are. Everything is a thought creation, and it is uniquely yours. You are the only person, individual that is here, that is creating the world for you. There's no one else, no thing else. There's no God or no devil that says you can't do this or you can do this. It is all your creation. Everything that you need, you have been given. But you are the thinker. You are the holder of the thought. You are the holder of creation. You are the manifester of your life, the things that you would like to have. And it is all within your hand. And we can only say to you, believe, and it is yours. Be, and it is already there. Now, very gently, bring yourself back to this world that you call real, and recognize that it is perhaps not real because it is not attuned to you, simply because you have believed that you are not creators, that you cannot manifest. And yet we tell you, you each are the most powerful beings that you will ever know. No one else or no thing else can create as efficiently as you do in the life that you are living. You are the one that is responsible for it. So gently bring yourself back. Wide awake. Wiggle your hands and toes and remember that "Oh, What a Beautiful Morning" song with a little bit of catchy rhythm there. See? Just with a thought, the whole world changes. It is 2014 beginning, and you are the creator of this new world. This is what we have been telling you. By 2015, the world will be well underway to these changes, and it is manifesting simply because you have decided this is who and what you're going to be. And if nothing else were to ever happen, If you can change one life that is most important to you, it will be yours. Recognize that you are creators of that. You are all psychic. You all can see into the future. But what we have to tell you, the future is not written in stone. When we tell you we see this happening, it is a projection and it is based upon the present and the past. So the future is still in flux. You are the ones that create that. You are not held captive here. You're not prisoners. You are creators of the future. And the more that you create the things that you'd like, the more you create the things that other ones would like. The only, we would say, problem you may run into is when you're trying to create something that you think someone else has to be, because you will never be able to do that. Each is unique. You all have your own intent and purpose. So forget about the rest of the world. It doesn't exist for you and your creations. It is all about you, how you feel, how you wish to see the world. Recognize that you are physical beings given life, and you exist in this world. It is not your own existence, but this is where you have put your focus. This is where you put your intent. You are here to manifest the things that you wish in life. You're here to be happy. You're here to know that you are quite capable, and that no one else has the ability or the right to say you can't do that. Now, if that goes against the grain, as we would say, recognize it as a time of change. Your futures are going to be more individualized. You're going to find that everyone has the right to create the things that they wish. Your prisons are filled with people that are being restricted because of the things they think they have to do, and we do not disagree with them. If you have this need to plunge and plunder, whatever it is that you call that, then that is an energy that has to be felt, has to be experienced, has to be lived through until you find that it doesn't serve you. So there is still plenty of that energy around. Those that have been slaves and warriors are still tied into that old energy. That is what is going to disappear. So you're going to find that your world around you is going to reflect that type of energy. When you see disturbances, when you think other things have to happen, then recognize that you have put certain ones in prison, and you may keep them there for a whole lifetime, but they will come back again. There's still something that they have to experience, simply because there is some sort of energy that says, I've got to know what I'm doing wrong. I've got to be able to feel that. I've got to be able to create something different. Most people live their life in the past, in their memories. So they're thinking, this is the way life is. I have to do this. But what we're suggesting to you is you don't. And the first thing you have to change is your attitude. You have to become more loving, more kind, more gentle. And when you do that, the world responds to you. If you are one of those that is in prison, then you most likely have this attitude of conflict. You expect it. And if you have not known someone that is in prison, then you will not see the conflict there that is there. But yet if you look around, if you begin to see a person, notice that there is a bit of anger, a bit of, I want to say, wishing to do things your own way without regard to anyone else. So if the law only exists for someone else as far as they're concerned, they think they are impervious to any outside influences, and yet they find that they're still get, we would say, imprisoned, made slaves again, and that doesn't change for them. But you can change it. What if you met a person on the street and you smiled to them, and that changed their whole life? What if instead of being in conflict, what if you made them feel worthy? If you honored them? What if you gave them a hug? Change a whole person's life. Just one little thing that may be simple and not much to you could make a world of difference in the world around you. So when you have your thoughts of things you'd like to accomplish, recognize that it goes out and it has power. And it changes the world around you. It changes you. It changes your whole attitude. It changes the world the way it is designed to be. The world has, we would say, a predestined place to be, and you're part of that change. How you get there, how you accomplish that, is up to each individual. So you either become a very powerful creator, or you become a victim of circumstances by default, by deciding not to do. So recognize that each moment, each thought that you have that doesn't honor you is creative. If you think, well, I'm old, or I'm old, wrinkled, crippled, whatever your reasons is for putting yourself down, recognize that as a creation. You simply have agreed to be that. So when your thoughts go out, when you look in the mirror, love that image that you see, love yourself. It makes a difference. Smile at the mirror. It always smiles back, but it also frowns back if you do not honor yourself. So those are the things that we wish to present to you, is this, how powerful you are, how creative you are, without perhaps knowing it. And your most powerful creations, again, are the things that you project into your future. And this is what I'd like to have happen. This is how I wish to feel. So how do you wish to feel tomorrow? Tomorrow's Monday, perhaps is work day. Monday's always a bad day, yes? Does it have to be? Your choice, you see. Smile. Your energy is directly related to how you feel, how you have chosen to feel. So if you think Monday's going to be a bad day, you're going to not like getting up in the morning. But what if tomorrow was going to be something special? What if you were going to be given a special gift? Then would you not be willing to get up and smile and hardly wait? So what we have to tell you every day, there is a gift waiting for you. All you have to do is to step in that energy that honors you and honors the things that you wish to do. This world is all about you. This physical body that you exist in right now has this one lifetime to get it where you wish it to be. Achieve that in this lifetime, then you get a free ride. The next incarnation, you're going to love. You're going to be put in a place where the energies that you are trying to reach are exactly all around you. That is what is in the future, and it's yours there. At that time, it is also here now. And the only way you'll ever get from here to there is to become that loving, kind, compassionate energy now. That's the cherry on top of the ice cream cone we talked about, you see. Are you happy the way life is? That's the vanilla ice cream. But let us give you something a little different. Something that you can look forward into the future, and you'll find it is the most delightful place to be. All of a sudden, things have stopped being routine. All of a sudden you look at the world and there's light around everything. Everything that you look, everything that you hope for happens for you. Do not believe that it cannot be yours. Whatever it is you wish, the only thing you have to do is find a way, steps to get there, and be that. And you have to be that first, otherwise it doesn't happen. See yourself as being great creators. The greatest creator in your life. Would that not be something to honor yourself? We have challenged you, yes. But try it. You'll be amazed by a thought that you can change your whole world. By that same thought that changes your world, changes the whole outer world. It makes the world that you're looking for right around the corner, or even today. So we thank you for your time and for your patience, and we assure you that we are not the only one that has this psychic ability to look in the future. You all have that also. What do you see in the future? But notice it is your future. It has very little to do with the things that are happening around you. It has very little to do with the earthquakes or the house fires or the battles in Afghanistan or the other ones that are going to happen. It does not include you unless you choose to be there, until you choose to buy into that energy, until you turn onto your TV and say, well, if they're saying that, it must be so. When you turn on your TV, see it as a play that's running, because it is. It has nothing to do with you unless you buy into it, until you buy into the dramas. And see yourself creating the world that you wish. How do you wish to be? If they're saying they're bombing parts of Afghanistan, and people are dying. Perhaps you feel compassion, but recognize it is not yours unless you choose to be there. To be, I want to say, judgmental and saying, well, this is wrong or this is right, we should or shouldn't be there. Recognize the world is all about you. How do you wish to be? You wish to be warriors still? Or slaves still? Or can you not be the new world that is loving, kind, and compassionate and supports everyone and everything? Everyone is worthy of life, of the ability to live their life as they wish to be. What would you wish to be? Live the life you wish without interference from other ones that say you should or shouldn't do that? See, it is your choice now. When you do that, you do it for another. You do it for another and another. And everyone that meets you has a little sense of that. You all are psychically connected. You're all this greater oneness. So everything that you put forth creates and affects the creations of everyone and everything else. And the world begins to change one person at a time. And the only one you have to worry about or be concerned about is you. The person that sits next to you has their own agenda. And what you wish for them is surely not going to be what they would wish for themselves, we have to tell you. You're that unique. And when you look around and you say, the world is all the same, it is not. We play with your energies, and we have to tell you, past lives and the way you perceive them and the way they affect you now are uniquely yours. There's not a person that can go through the same experiences and come away with the same ideals and perceptions of what life and reality is about. It is uniquely yours, and you choose to be that. Now, most of you will have to have bad experiences in past lives. It is part of the growth process. But you are not there now. You are not doing that now. You are here to create this brand new world. 2014 is the beginning. And you are the pioneers. You are the one that holds the light for the rest of the world. Now, the ones that are able to manifest, or the ones that wish to meditate, are the ones that know this is what's going to happen. They already have confidence that this is what's going to happen in life, and it happens almost automatically. It's not something you have to take a notebook and make notes and revise every day. It is a one-time out picturing the things you'd wish to have. And then as you go along, you keep changing it. You keep, I want to say, embellishing it. You keep completing the picture, the painting. So it is like you were the first time to paint this beautiful seascape or scenery in the rough, we would say. Allow yourself to be that. We hope we have inspired you just a little and assured you that you have that ability. This is what you are on a spiritual level. Pure thought. And you're here expressing that in a physical body, and this gives you the ability to see the things that you create around you, to interact with those and say, well, if this is not working, if I do not feel right about this, or if this is impinging on somebody else, then this is why I'm here, to put my ideas and thoughts as a spiritual being into a physical world and see how they play back. This is a mirror of your thoughts and your thinking and your ideas. It is a mirror of the things that you are creating or wish to create. And if you look at that and say, why is it not exactly as I wish, then you're on your way. So, we wish you grand creations. Honor this that you are. Recognize that you're in this physical body that we would call a temple of God. And you're here to create exactly the things that you wish to create. And what we have to tell you is, you are doing that even now. Creating. But is it the things exactly as you would wish? Or can you see a change? Can you make it different? Can you see the world and allow the world to be as it is? Because you cannot change the whole of the world, but you can change your world. You do that, then the rest of the world changes around you. It agrees with you. Your weather becomes milder. The snowstorms all decrease. All of the, we will say, mirror influence that you put upon Mother Earth, so that you can see yourself and see your mass consciousness being displayed before you. You have the ability to change. Wish it and it will happen. The world is in change even now. This that you call global warming is decreasing. This that you call wars and battles is decreasing. So it is becoming a milder, more gentle place. And you're right in the center of it. You have that ability. You are God's creative fingers, eyes, ears, feet. This is how God experiences himself or herself, through the things that you are doing, the things that you're being. So you're a mass of humanity with different ideas and different thoughts all coming together to create this brand new world. So if 2012 didn't work for you, try 2014, because it's going to start showing up around you. We're Alexander. And we thank you for allowing Alexander in, and hopefully he didn't step on too many toes, but I think he offered you ice cream cone with a cherry on top, so that should make it a little more gentle. Thank you very much.